No.
You
said it on
are.
Facebook though, okay?
It doesn't matter. Q, be quiet.
Lapeef Network on feelings over facts, 15 caps called. I know that contradicts everything you've heard before now, but hear me out. Welcome to another Lapeef Network reaction. On this episode, we're going to put facts against feelings, and then you will tell me which one wins based off of this tussle between Mr. Logic of the Lapeef Network and reality. Let's get into it.
I got love for you, but
let's start with some emotional intelligence here. Anytime the word but, B-U-T, surfaces in a conversation, you effectively negate what was said before that when it comes to actual reality, which is the experience you're helping to create in that moment.
Didn't you lose a student to gun violence?
Why are you even talking about like business
No.
that I took y'all off screen?
No,
So disrespectful.
No, it's not disrespectful. It's fact.
It is.
All right, I can already tell that, in fact, Mr. Logic was speaking facts. We agree on that, right? In fact, Kay just agreed as well when she just said, it is.
Fact.
It is.
So let's not worry about Kay or calling caps on the fact that she exposed the story she's trying to cover up to the internet. Let's continue and see how much yelling out facts helped in landing Mr. Logic's message. That's the goal, right?
Something that I told y'all about in confidence, and now you're bringing it on a screen.
So now we have additional emotions provoked into the conversation. Now it's an active competition between facts and a feeling. Kay feels disrespected. Not just that, she probably feels it's disrespectful to the kids that passed away from the story we won't spend too much time on. This would typically be a great moment to hold Kay accountable, right, Anton? If you know Mr. Logic well on this show, can you predict what's about to happen? Let's find out.
No.
You said it on
are.
Facebook though, okay?
It doesn't matter. Q, be quiet.
Bravo! Congratulations to the most logical man on YouTube. I mean, Mr. Logic. Two women have now butted heads, and disrespect is breeding more disrespect. I know this is a show, but in real life, fellas, nothing good can come out of putting women against each other in the name of accountability. The results today shows that it hasn't worked yet. Not for the Black community and not for Black and African people around the world. Newsflash, secret, right? It has not worked for the white manosphere either. By the way, if you have to call yourself Mr. Logic, you're probably the most emotional motherfucker on earth. But let me not create assumptions. You know, when you assume, you create an ass out of you and me. So let's not assume, let's find out.
The point I'm making is that it's real. No matter how your feelings make you deflect from it, it's real.
So he successfully created an experience that made Kay shut off. The message he was trying to pass so badly is now in the mud. We might still have a chance to make facts win here. But fuck all that, in the voice of Mr. Logic, right? To Mr. Logic, everything else but the emotion and experience that's being created in that moment is real. Okay, I'm also starting to realize I have to spell out everything for the lame-ass modern men. That was sarcasm. The experience in this moment is realer, what's up, realer, than those recorded old-ass facts, data, and statistics that he so badly wants to paint everywhere. Gang, and one Mr. Logic, would you consider learning how to collect, process, and interpret real-time data as related to this moment's experience as well? Might that be useful to help land that message you want to pass on so badly? Okay, maybe that's just pandering. Fuck the message.
All I'm saying. It's not no disrespect for nothing. It's not whatever. And if you think it's disrespect, then I don't give a fuck.
Mr. Logic is actively attempting to invalidate Kay's feelings of disrespect in order to validate his fact to win by forgetting to tell his face and body language that he do not give a fuck. This is problematic for him, men around the world, and the fact he's trying so hard to pass along. Even worse, if facts was so good enough, why does it need validation? Watch how he's having such a hard time convincing himself that he don't give a fuck.
We need to start actually telling the truth.
Who's gonna help Mr. Logic protect the fact and truth? Which, by the way, are two different things. Stop the cap. This is arrogance. This is not what he said verbatim, but let me interpret his feelings for you. I'm the only one among 8 people who is capable of telling the truth on this panel. That's bullshit, because the only truth you're capable of telling is your damn version of the truth, which is a product of mere human filters, perspectives, and your outlook on life. Just like the rest of us, we all tell lies, not necessarily deliberately, but we do by always attempting to put our best foot forward. You're not as real as you think you are. Stop the cap.
The governor, Donald Trump, blamed everybody.
So of course he threw his hands in the air. He gave up. He settled for the sign language with a little hint of condescension. And he's supposed to be upholding facts, logically. How the hell is he going to do that when he's now caught up in his emotions? Fuck his words. Check out his actions. He's emotional. Gentlemen, how can you get your message to its destination when you're more emotional than your audience? Do you know what happens to emotional soldiers?
She came at us. She told us that it hit her a certain type of way, and I don't know if it was necessarily your intent to exploit that by any means. But Kay came at us in confidence. Now, will I say this? Is your point wrong? Absolutely not.
Mr. Logic was spitting facts, and he definitely was not wrong. But that's not the goal. In fact, the only thing that's wrong with Mr. Logic is that he's never wrong. I said the same thing about the late Kevin Samuels as far back as May 6th, 2021 in a 2-part series I did about him on our marriage channel. Search Kevin Samuels, Lola and Ola on YouTube to find that video or videos. And these are sizable books. They're minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3-times author. Those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. The goal and end desired results we're all looking for is to create effective communication, which means your message hits the destination safe and sound. That's how healthy relationships, either in business or at personal levels, are created. Of course, there are some exceptions. One of them is when you are on a stage running a show, or you feel a larger community is in some type of emergency. Kevin Samuels and Mr. Logic may be intercepting that exception because this is a show. But stop the cap. There is no real emergency outside of the unrealistic expectations of humans and how they evolve. Motherfuckers just want to stay stuck in 1943 way of life. That's not reality. Even the metaverse will kick against that. The problem is that facts are as useless as Mr. Logic's method of communication when it's not interpreted and presented properly. What does proper presentation look like? If you're as logical as you claim to be, you will identify all the variables, the risk, threats that can kill your message before it's received at the destination. Not arrived, but received. The biggest variable and threat is emotions. Being in denial of the existence and effect of feelings and emotions tells me that you are the least logical person in the human experience.
Yeah, I think that was so disrespectful, Logic. It's just.
And I don't.
Anyway, I don't give a fuck either. I'm talking. I said what I said.
I don't get.
Shut the fuck up and wait for me to
and I'm
finish.
saying no.
All right, y'all,
Okay.
let's just have a conversation.
So just stop talking. I'm talking. Stop talking.
I'll tell you right now, outside of my wife years ago, in the moment of crisis, and when I didn't know any better, I've never had a woman, including my mother, tell me to stop talking. How so? Am I just a lucky motherfucker? Or it's just the way I move in the streets? Like I said, with my wife, yes, I have attracted disrespect when I left my position as a king in the name of stoic and useless communication style. Toxic argument with a woman. Of course, I was right, but I was a loser. This is the dictionary meaning of stoic, a person who can endure pain or hardship without showing their feelings or complaining. Mr. Logic can't, as it has been proven here. All of us can't. We are all emotional people. It's not sustainable to attempt communicating with people that control their own agency in that way. If you want to lead humans, you need to understand that first, and then learn how to engage the actual and realistic power that you have access to, emotional intelligence. Not IQ, but EQ. So now the typical humans on this panel, in the persons of Quest and Killer, are now trying to protect K's feelings. The audience, K, at this point is no longer interested in the message. Mission aborted.
Shit, this is fuck what's wrong with black people now. We too fucking sensitive. We can never deal with the facts and concede to the facts. I don't give a fuck what you say. Hell, I don't care. What? Oh, my bad. Who is that? Ricky. Whoever said it. I know, I'm serious. This shit is insane.
Of course, Mr. Logic is not done expressing his emotions. He's forgotten about the mission at this point. He tells us more about why he don't give a fuck and forgets to tell his face and body language. He attempts to validate his obviously fucked up version of the truth. Like I said, we all have that. Because of temperament, personality types, filters, perspectives, outlook, trauma, etc.
The truth is the truth. If you're talking, and now I don't give a fuck. If your talking point that you're saying is the exact opposite of your real life, cut the shit. It's bullshit. And then I'm supposed to feel sorry? Hell no, I ain't.
So he doesn't feel sorry, but he feels angry, frustrated. And let me ask you, how well is fact doing in this competition against feelings? All of those facts in the mud.
And I don't give a fuck who think different. And all I did was bother a fucking fact.
Remember, all he does is remind us of recorded old facts, stats, and data. So don't act surprised when we raise more young useless kids who know all the facts, stats, data, and textbook knowledge with gross disregard for tacit knowledge that you can only get from experience and the elders. They just help record more terrible data because they lack the skill of collecting and interpreting real-time data when it comes to personal relationships and the community we are building at home, the family unit. Don't forget, whatever the fuck the main topic was, the fact and Mr. Logic are still right. But question for you, if you have been paying attention to the experience here, and fuck the words, which one is undefeated here, fact or feelings? Leave your answer in the comment below.
So I don't give a fuck what you motherfuckers in the chat say, and I don't give a fuck who says it. I deal with facts. I keep it straight down the line, and that's it.
This right here is the source of the #1 cause of the bad dating, relationship, and marriage experiences. Unrealistic expectations, not the lies that Google spit as finance and infidelity. It's unrealistic expectations and pride. How do you expect anyone to take you seriously if your words are laced multiple times with "I don't care, I don't give a fuck"? Your audience, your wife, your kids, your loved ones, your business associates have no other choice than to agree with your energy. Start saying "I don't care" and "I don't give a fuck." And yes, I am policing your tone. Only overgrown adolescents are expected to say shit like that. I know they were talking about the community at a macro level and social issues, and it's a show. It's not that deep, but it involves the same skill set. Your ability as a viewer of the Lapeef Network to manage a simple conversation. This shit will become deep for you if you attempt to apply this method of communication in your personal relationships.
And I'm tired of being the bad guy for telling the goddamn truth. I mean, fuck that. The truth matters.